Post-game press conference. I'm Bret Bielema live here in the WCIA3 studios. Illinois beats Chattanooga 31-0 to round out the non-conference portion of its schedule. Undefeated for the first time since 2011. The Illini 3-1. We are going to check in over at Memorial Stadium with Bret Bielema here coming up in just a few minutes as we will hear his entire post-game press conference. We are awaiting him on the podium right now. Andy Olson and Bryce Bielema over there ready to take us live to Memorial Stadium. We will join them in just a couple of minutes, but it was a good win for the Illini. The first shutout since 2015. This is the sign that this team is taking steps forward, and this is a game they should have won. Chattanooga, an FCS school. That's what formerly 1AA, a little bit lower level. They have significantly less scholarships than Illinois. And Illinois showed that they outmanned the Mocs today. A quality win for them and a win that they should win. So take care of business. Now they get ready to start Big Ten play. And you could argue that the Illini should be 4-0. Remember that game against Indiana a couple of Fridays ago? They had that one in the bag. We're up in the fourth quarter, but unable to pull it out. Yet Illinois sits at 3-1, and I think overall fans feeling pretty good. The Illini halfway to bowl eligibility now, and after what they did last year in the Big Ten, some positive steps, of course, winning at Penn State and winning at Minnesota. I think Illini Nation feeling pretty good about what this team can do moving forward. Once again, we're going to hear from Illinois head coach Bret Bielema coming up here momentarily, get his post-game thoughts. And a historic day for the Illini. Chase Brown becomes the first running back in program history, that dates back plus 100 plus years, to rush for 100 or more yards in a game 5 straight times. He does that today. And Tommy DeVito, more than 300 yards. The Illini offense had more than 500 yards and a stout performance for them. And then when you add in the defense as well, a shutout. You can't get much better than that. And yes, it is an FCS program like we mentioned, but it's tough to force a shutout no matter who the opponent is. And the Illini able to do that today. Gabe Akis, the true freshman outside linebacker, a tremendous game. He was up there in tackles along with Johnny Newton. Both of those guys, the core in a sense, along with Keith Randolph, who had an interception, then he fumbled it. I know a lot of Illini Nation hoping that the big fellow would be able to take that back, but that's a formidable front defensive line, probably the best since that 2015 team. Remember the last time that they started the season 3-1 as well. Multiple pros on that team with Carroll Phillips, Dwan Smoot, Jihad Ward also on that team. I think this defense is finding its identity and a strong secondary as well. And the Illini come out and post a shutout. That is really, really difficult to do. We are awaiting Bret Bielema there, and he will visit with reporters here coming up momentarily, including Andy Olson and Bryce Bielema. And there is Bret Bielema as we take you there live now.
Just couldn't say enough about our guys during the bye week and the preparation to get ready for UT Chattanooga. I know obviously the score indicates, we shut them out on defense, put up some points on offense, but I really respected that team, the way they ran the ball. I think they're 3-0. I don't care what level you're at, if they know how to win games. So I think our guys locked into it. Definitely some things we got to correct. I would have liked to get some points before the end of the first half. I didn't like the way we started the second half, but we got a lot of guys more valuable experience today, especially some of the backups. Got some new faces in on defense, Jared Beatty and a couple other guys. So excited where we are. Disappointed that we're not at this venture. We got 3 wins, obviously. Would love to have 4, but I think we've learned a lot about our team in these first 4 games, and now we'll take a nice 9-day preparation into the Wisconsin game. I thought overall, our guys played pretty clean today. There was a big point of emphasis during the bye week. Still some things we got to improve. Obviously, Pat got that one call back by a holding call, so we got to eradicate that, but our guys played a lot better execution and really for 4 quarters, I thought played a pretty complete game. So we'll take it from there. Open up for questions. Yeah, we got a tremendous, I think, group of players on defense that play with a lot of confidence. I think they have a lot of faith in their coaches. I couldn't be happier with Ryan, Aaron, J-Mo, Andy, and Kevin. I thought those guys each week just kind of continue to find ways to motivate the guys, give them an advantage. I think they'll get stronger as the year goes on because we have intelligent players on defense that understand the advantage of film and tells and things that give them some advantages before the snap. I heard our guys talking 2 days ago, which would be the equivalent of like a Thursday practice on just things that were being alerted before the snap, and that's just something that's continued to grow. We have a group that's very, very engaged, and now some younger players continue to play well, and that gives us depth.
I know they've got a first-string defense at the end of the Virginia game. Asked back in to keep that touchdown streak going. How much do you think that has built on itself?
Ryan and I had a conversation about that on Sunday after that Virginia game. That group wanted that, right? I think they felt hollow after that Indiana, ending, and they wanted to be able to, prove to themselves mentally and physically that they could do that. And I don't know the exact factor on our season, but I do think that's a point that our guys now have learned that lesson, and hopefully we can carry it forward because now obviously the stakes have gotten a lot higher for the rest of our games to be Big Ten conference opponents. Starting off with 3 in a row here in our division, it's going to be a big. I said this, during our bye week, we got a big month of football in front of us for this program. To have this game close out the way it did, now to go at Wisconsin and come back to back with 2 home games here. Hopefully get a great crowd because I think this group is fun. They're exciting to watch and they're eager to please.
Coach, you knew when you came here you're going to play Wisconsin out there on the bench. Have you thought about this game at all?
Obviously, there's a lot of history. I always tell our players, right? I've never met a successful man that isn't proud of where he came from. I'm actually from Illinois. I coached and played at Iowa. I went to Kansas State for a little bit and spent a big part of my career as a Wisconsin coach, both as a coordinator and head coach. I'm very proud of the things I accomplished there, but none of those accomplishments are going to help us next Saturday, right? Nothing that we did there on the field is going to carry forward. I have a lot of great people that I'm close with, to this day. Paul Christ and I consider a very good friend in this profession. Jimmy Leonard was the first player that I ever visited with at the University of Wisconsin. Coach Alvarez said, hey, if you get Jimmy, you're going to get them all. So he and I were the first player I ever visited with during my tenure there. And obviously he's a very accomplished D coordinator. My wife and I got married there. You can't get more special than that, right? So that's all part of things that are pertaining to me. This is about the University of Illinois. So really, other than the fact that everybody else was going to make a big deal of it, I've turned down a lot of, I had different TV organizations and people reach out and want to do a special on my return, and I turn them all away just because I want this to be about the University of Illinois going to Wisconsin.
Game to game, or even maybe practice to practice, are you seeing the development and the progression from Tommy?
Yeah, Tommy is, and you guys found out, right? But I mean, for heaven's sakes, that first game, right? He finds out after the game that he loses his grandmother, right? And then he went home during the bye week and celebrated her life, right? So Tommy is, the more I'm around him, the more I'm just very impressed with who he is, what he represents. I think as a skill set, he has, all the tools that you want a quarterback to have, and he also has the intangibles. So we're 4 games into the Barry Lunny offense, right? And I think you begin to see how that thing can click. I've seen it in practice, but I really challenged our guys. Actually, on Thursday's practice, I didn't like the way we kind of ended, so I made the offense stay out and do extra reps and play a little bit cleaner, and I'm glad I did because I think you saw that today in the way they executed.
Coach, I think this was the first career start for Gabe Backus. What did you see from his play today? What's kind of the ceiling?
Gabe is strong, athletic. It was kind of Kevin and I were kind of having this conversation. Even though he's a rookie, first start, like you said, he just does not get wowed by the moment. He's, his mom raised an incredible kid. His brother is very influential in his life, and he's a very serious kid that nothing really phases him. He's got a great sense of humor, demeanor, very engaged, but. I also looked at our defense. I believe defensively we have 6 guys from the state of Florida that start for us, right? So just another great addition of, during our bye week, I'm going to go down to Florida for 2 days. I found my wife from Florida. So obviously I've been very well in life in Florida, and hopefully that part is going to continue to grow because those players have been a huge impact in this program.
It looks like the pack gives you that kind of down the field.
Yeah.
How do you see him build
So as you guys see, Pat's a big, athletic, strong hands, can run through tackles. He's got a longer stride, so it may not look like he's running as fast as he truly is, but we're just scratching the surface of what he's going to be. I think he's a nice complement to Isaiah. And then you saw that was kind of a neat sight on that far sideline when Isaiah took it off and they were running stride for side there. Two different kind of stride lengths, but two guys that cover a lot of ground. So I'm excited to see those guys continue to grow. You throw that in a combination of, Chase with Josh McCray. I think Josh is very close to getting back here with us. And then obviously Reggie, I thought, did some nice things in there today. Our tight ends continue to be productive. I'm excited about the growth of our O-line. I think this offense is something that can be special.
Brett, you guys have some really good defenses. Where do you think this one?
You know what I like about this defense is they're kind of a group that they're kind of the bad news bears, right? They don't really have a marquee guy maybe. They're just got a lot of guys that really do a good job. Keith, Johnny, I thought in particular our interior nose play today was really good. I think our linebackers between C.J. Hart, Dark, and Tariq, those guys. C.J. became a dad on Thursday. I mean, how many? Or not Thursday, on Tuesday, I guess it was, right? Like, so to go through those things and still play the way they did, it's just a really impressive group. I do think the glue. It sounds kind of weird. I think the glue of Spoon, Sid, and Kendall, and obviously Quan, they're just so steady back there. Ryan is a very good defense coordinator, but what he really truly is, he's an incredible DB coach. I think him and Coach Henry both play off each other very, very well. And that group, when you're as solid as we are in the back end, it really allows you to do a lot of different stuff up front.
This might be a small thing, but what explanation did you get from the official? Like, told Caleb and Huber they couldn't maybe do the visualization stuff.
Yeah. I'll wait and see what they say. That for as long as I've been here, they've been out there on the field doing that, but obviously didn't set well with Mike, and he's in charge. The white hat gets to do what he wants to do. So I'm sure we'll ask during the course of the week what that is. It was a lot for me. It was something I didn't really bring up or mention to our players, but I'm fully aware of that. There's a lot of firsts going on in this program, right? So when I first got the call from Josh, I just thought Illinois could be something that hasn't been in a while, right? And just blown away today. I find out, Chase, first time a running back in the University of History, had rushed 5 games for 100 yards. I had no idea that's kind of just what we do, right? Ever since I've been head coaching, you're gonna have a guy rush for 100 yards. That's how you win football games. Today was the first time 2 receivers went over 100 yards, and we had a 100-yard running back. That's the first time in program history. Those are stats that I can't believe they're first. But we're not there. We're a 3-1 team, but I am excited about where we're at. I think we're just beginning to understand who we are. I really like the way this group works. I think they're going to be a very easy group to coach going into Wisconsin next week, and they're playing hungry. But this is our second rematch game, and I'm excited to see where we end up. Seth Coleman. Yeah, Seth's been a very impressive guy. We had a little team meeting last night, and I brought up Zeke. I'm like, just anybody has any moments tomorrow, talking about today's game, where you need to be motivated, just think about what Zeke is going through right now, because him and Seth had done a really good job kind of building off of one another, and I think Seth took Gabe under his wing here, especially in the last couple of weeks, and that's the growth I've seen out of Seth. He was a real quiet kid when I got here. I'm not saying he's quiet all the time, but around the coaches he is, and his professional growth, his who he is, how he plays the game, how he learns the game. I give Kevin a lot of credit. Kevin Kane has got his attention and playing at a high level.
Finish with one more. Up front, Johnny Newton, you almost take it for granted that he's going to have a great game.
Who's that?
Johnny Newton up front. What did you see from him today and the rest of the
Johnny just continues to saw wood, right? Johnny's a very for a defensive lineman, his football acumen and IQ is really high. He's really taking advantage of early down rushes. Johnny loves the game of football. I can't tell you. I'll be sitting, it was during the bye week on a Monday night football game, right? And I'm in Utah of all places, and I get a text from Johnny. He's like, "Hey, coach, did you see the rip reach there?" Right? Like he loves football. His mom and dad have raised a really exciting kid to be around. He's not really long, but he's got really good power. Got great demeanor. I think people rally around him. He's really taken a step of maturity as well. So, Johnny's just kind of a steady Eddie and going to be rewarded because of it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Yep.
Isaiah Williams, Pat Bryant, Johnny Newton, Quan,